Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Haley Harmon, in tonight for Nancy Cox. Thanks for joining us at 6. Lexington police say they think the same man attacked two women in the same area on the city's north side earlier today, only about an hour or so apart.
Lexington police say the man robbed and cut his first victim and tried to kidnap the second. Now, it all started at the Walmart parking lot near New Circle and Russell Cave Roads, and he's still on the run. LEX 18's Carolina Buchek is live with the big story at 6.
Well, police don't know how, but they say this man keeps getting away. First, they came here to the Walmart parking lot where police say that the man robbed a woman and then cut her with a knife. He took off from here, but then not too far away, a little bit over an hour later, he reappeared, this time police say for an attempted kidnapping.
Police know the same guy was able to strike twice today.
We do believe we've gathered some video in the area that is that same individual.
His first stop was here, the Walmart parking lot, where police say he not only robbed a woman, but also hurt her.
A woman had been injured slightly from what we think is a knife wound. At that point, it was non-life-threatening injuries, but she was in fact injured.
Then about an hour later, around 11:30, there was another 911 call, not too far from here. It was another woman telling police the guy tried to kidnap her in a parking lot across from LexMart.
An individual matching the same description approached her, alluded to the fact he may be trying to kidnap her. She fought her way off from him, and he ran away on foot.
Police used a canine and helicopter to try to find him, and at one point they thought they did. But instead, it was a man with a similar description walking down New Circle. Now, police do have security footage showing their suspect, as well as descriptions from people who saw him.
We do have some of the construction workers that we saw in the area did verify this person's travel direction.
So police say the man that they are after is tall, thin, and he has a distinct beard that can be described as salt and pepper. He is still on the run. Luckily, police say both of the victims that he attacked will be okay. Covering the news live in Lexington from the LEX Mobile Newsroom. Back to you.
There will be no frat parties at the Sigma Chi House on UK's campus this year.
That's because the fraternity has been suspended after admitting to university violations. LEX 18's Lee Searcy has the story.
Lots of action on Greek Row as sororities get ready for bid day. But here at the Sigma Chi House, all is quiet, and it will stay that way as Sigma Chi members must move out. Their fraternity banned from UK's campus.
Chapter is effectively not on campus for at least the year.
A university investigation concluded the chapter violated university policy in 2 cases. The first one when a pledge class used alcohol and drugs. This letter sent to the fraternity president states marijuana was used and items were stolen from a date party. And in the second case, Sigma Chi posted a picture on social media of a member holding a bottle of alcohol at a tailgate at Keeneland. The university means business when it comes to the student code of conduct.
I think anytime we have to take an action where a chapter is basically banned or suspended for a year, that's serious. But I would say that the chapter cooperated fully throughout. They understand the repercussions and the ramifications of their actions and have stepped forward, so that's a good thing.
Covering the news in Lexington, Lee Searcy, LEX 18 News.
A 2-year-old has died after an accidental shooting in western Kentucky. It happened on Buck Creek Road in Barron County about 8:45 this morning. The sheriff's office there says the child's juvenile sibling was handling a loaded rifle when it went off. The child died at the scene.
Lexington emergency officials have declared a heat emergency. They say the hot temperatures combined with humidity could make spending time outside dangerous if you're not careful. LEX 18's Kylan Mills is live with the details.
Kevin, Haley, good evening to you both. Emergency officials say you can't just look at the temperature or a thermometer like this. You also have to factor in humidity, which makes the heat index or the feels like temperature. Tonight, it's felt like it's in the upper 90s, and that's why they're urging people to be extra careful if you spend time outside. A hot day in the bluegrass is something FedEx workers like Alfred Rawls know not to take lightly.
No, I drink plenty of water. Most of the time when I go to business, they offer me water, and I normally take it.
Rawls says it's easy to get overheated when unloading packages, so his boss encourages them to take extra breaks when it's this hot.
Carrying this load of packages every day, it bear on you sometimes. But most of the time, you know, I can handle it. I take breaks here and there.
Lexington Emergency Management declared a heat emergency today through midnight on Thursday.
We factor in humidity and the temperature that's forecast for the next 3 days. So it's going to be a little hot, it's going to be a lot humid, and those factors give us the threshold for declaring the Heat 1 emergency.
The Office of Homelessness Prevention and Intervention has also opened extra cooling centers, and different shelters will be checking out people. Officials want to remind anyone who might be outside to play it extra safe.
High heat and humidity can be very, very dangerous and fatal at times. We want to encourage people to stay hydrated. Water is the best thing to drink. Stay away from caffeinated beverages.
Emergency officials say also try to avoid doing any strenuous activity or physical activity outside during the hottest part of the day. That's in the afternoon. They say also be on the lookout for heat exhaustion symptoms that include cool skin, dizziness, heavy sweating, and possibly nausea. We're covering the news live in Lexington from the LEX 18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
It was our third consecutive 90-degree day in Lexington, and we get these in September where we put this 3 or 4 in a row. About every other year is about how it averages out. We're still at 91 in Lexington. We're at 91 Frankfort, 90 Mount Sterling, upper 80s as you look from Richmond and Danville southward. By the way, last time we did 3 consecutive 90-degree days in September was 2016, if you were keeping score at home. Heat index values have been middle upper 90s most of the day. Yeah, it's been plenty hot and humid out there, no two ways around. It feels more like the middle of July. You know what the calendar's saying, September, that this can't last forever. So there are limits to how long we can keep it this hot. Now, one way to cool it off and one way nature tries to balance things out with some thunder showers. Not many today. We've got one that just has popped up there in southern Garrett County, a little lightning with that. Also now just to the east of Manchester there along the Parkway. And again, watch that one there and going through Garrett County, how quickly it fires up. A little bit of lightning going on with it. And that storm over in Leslie County has also weakened quite a bit. So there's your setup. You know, this is such a great idea. Let's do it again tomorrow. We'll talk about that and Gordon in a couple of minutes.
Okay, Bill, thank you. The deadline has now passed, and organizers say they did not get enough signatures on petitions to push back on that 5-cent property tax for safety improvements at Fayette County Public Schools. That tax is estimated to bring in $13.5 million. The average homeowner, that means, would pay about $88 more per year. Organizers say they got roughly 11,000 signatures, but they needed 14,000. The deadline was 4 o'clock this afternoon. Lexington police are looking for as many as 3 people after an online dating service matched a victim with a car thief.
Michael Burke has that story in this week's LEX 18 Crime Stoppers.
A super like on Tinder could become a super mess.
The victim stated that previously he'd met a girl online.
Her profile made no mention of her love of cars, but clearly she was more attracted to his blue Ford Mustang.
And she proceeds to drive away in the victim's vehicle.
2 possible accomplices to this crime, as police believe surveillance video shows 2 people who might have been there to help with this theft.
She appears to have some words with these guys in this Cadillac. They look like they're affiliated, like they may have known one another, and then they all drive off at the same time.
In the 2 different cars, which leaves police with 3 persons of interest and some steep charges once apprehended.
This car is well over $10,000, so you can imagine this is going to be a heightened type felony based on the type or the amount of money that property is worth.
And this perp might be worth even more to police because given the victim's story, there could be others who are just too embarrassed perhaps to come forward.
You don't really truly know a whole lot about a person when you're going to pick them up on a first date. And this is that type of scenario.
And it's one police see all the time. And it's not limited to auto theft.
They discuss what they're going to do, places they're going to go, if they're going to go to dinner, whatever it is. And then the other people show up and kind of interrupt this date.
Covering this week's Crime Stoppers, Michael Burke, LEX 18 News.
Well, the stolen car is that blue 2017 Ford Mustang, Kentucky plate 708 WXJ. Now, if you have any information that leads to an arrest, that tip could get you a cash reward from Bluegrass Crime Stoppers. You can call 859-253-2020 or text your information to crimes. Just put LEX PD in the message along with your anonymous tip. Lexington police say they don't think there was any criminal activity that caused a 19-year-old state representative's son to fall off a balcony. Corbin Harris, the son of State Rep Chris Harris, fell from the 4th floor at a Lexington apartment just after midnight on August 30th. Yesterday, Representative Harris said Corbin's condition has not improved or worsened and he remains critical.
Fayette County health officials are once again issuing a warning after another rabid bat has been found in a Lexington neighborhood. This time it's in Chevy Chase. The health department says there does not appear, though, to have been any exposure to humans from this bat, but they just want people in the area to be extra careful. Some great news tonight for current and future students at one Kentucky university. There has been a major tuition cut.
The big announcement from the University of the Cumberlands is next on LEX 18 News at 6.